welcome back. Welcome back. Let's now have you into this other segment where we're going to look at our children and then reading culture. Do they still read or ping? We're going to find out today. And to help us look at this are the guests that are already seated with us in the house. And by my far left, I have Mrs. Ifeoma Nnaemeka. Mrs. Ifeoma Nnaemeka is the Director, Student Advocacy Against Destructive Attitude. That's SAADA UNIZIC.
Welcome.
Welcome, you, madam.
Good morning.
Okay, you're welcome. And then seated very close to her is Comrade Kanayo Obidigbo. Comrade Kanayo Obidigbo is a public affairs analyst. Comrade Kanayo, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's good to have
You're
you
welcome.
here.
You're welcome.
All right, gentlemen, we are still here, and we're going to look at this last segment, children and reading culture. And I asked, do they still read again, Mrs. Nnaemeka or Ping?
Thanks for having me here.
Okay.
It has been a problem and a concern for those adults like us that went through the rigorous training in the past. Seeing what is happening now, is a problem. They don't read anymore. They don't even see the need to read. They are careless about it. So it's a problem because we don't know what will happen in the next 10 years. That's very, very they are not
near.
reading. They are not studying. It's just, if you see maybe 20 students, you see just one reading or two serious. The rest is just pinging, tell you who can work it out.
And then watching films. Let's
Watching
come to
film,
you,
pinging.
Comrade Kanayo. Yesterday we celebrated World Children's Book Day. Am I right, gentlemen? Okay, perhaps that's what informed this topic today. As the world is busy mapping out this celebration for them, do they still read?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that our children these days don't read because of technology. Technology in the sense that the iPhone, iPad, smartphone, and all that has taken over at a time during the inception of a computer. Computer was made available to aid learning. But in today's Nigerian schools, you found that children of 12 years are carrying about iPhone of 60,000 naira, provided by their parent. I don't know what it means. I remember in the old good days when we used to read the Hadley Chase, the Agatha Christie, and then we compete among ourselves. How many Hadley Chase have you read so far?
Look at that. You go to the library, you see books lined up, very dusty, nobody's touching them, and then our children,
So it becomes a problem that when you look at students, when you see 10 students sitting down, all their eyes are glued on the screen of an iPhone. And they are not actually reading. Because I know that when I search for information and bring it out, I read a lot from the iPhone, quite all right. And I learn more. But in our own cases, they are not actually directed in learning from what was posted there for them to read. But they actually busy themselves with, junk publications. And it is unfortunate that most parents don't actually carry their children.
Okay, that's the aspect I want to come in now. Who is to blame? Is it the children or the parents? I believe let us look at it holistically now. Where do we get it wrong? The child that is growing up needs to be directed. And if the parent is not doing their beat, starting from time, maybe developing that culture, that's the parents are not really doing this. Do you think it's achievable that they'll start reading?
The problem is that the parents are no longer there for them. So that is the problem. So if you are
what do you mean that the parents are no longer there?
They are very busy. In the past, yes. The mothers are always there. You know, the highest job they can pick is maybe a teaching job. And they are there. Even if they pick other jobs, they come back, they are still there. The problem we have now is that the women are no longer there. And because you're not there, the gap is there.
Where are they? Where do they go to?
You know, these days the women are more career-minded.
Are you talking about women? Obidigbo, are you...
Teaching is a career. Because you said in those days, the highest they do is teaching. Teaching is a career. They're still there for their children.
It's not only for the mothers to actually culture their children in, you know, developing reading habits. I have a child of 12, and each time he sees me reading newspaper, and he said, "Daddy, oh, you always read newspaper all over your bed, newspaper." I said, "Yes, you will start reading newspaper as soon as you are 12. So today, about 10 days ago, it's now 12 years, and I say every day when I finish my newspaper, you must read and tell me what you read in this newspaper. So that. And I said to him,
it's not always the mother.
The father should be involved.
I have to come in here. You know, there's this research done by the Kids and Family Reading Report, you know, that's quite revealing to confirm what you earlier said, that children are no longer reading. And they found out that the reading culture is really dying. Now you talk about the problem being that the parents are not there. I think that's one of the reasons why the reading culture is dying. You know, what other factors do you think actually influenced the children, you know, not to read any longer? Because I remembered when we were young, my mother would be asking us, "Please stay back and eat." We'll be running, want to be early in school, do some things before the school actually starts. What other things do you think?
You see, because of the modern time, most parents actually are not interested. You find a situation where a mother or a father is trying to assist a child to jump over to the next class. You see, in our own days, if I go last, you repeat. You must do what? Repeat that class, and those that are coming, you'll be ashamed of yourself. But these days, you find out that even
being
parents
ashamed of yourself will ginger you to read.
Yes,
and
you don't want
over.
to. There was a guy we were together in the school, and then we left him in class 1 and went over to class 2 here in Ibebike. He felt it so much. He felt so bad that he was the only person that dropped. But that made him to, you know, ginger him up. So what I'm trying to say is that there's no more competition. Parents are saying, you are trying to turn out a graduate or a child that is not well schooled. So, and as a result of that, you are not helping the nation, because it has an effect over time.
Now, do we say that government has a role to play here? Building of libraries? School. Okay, go ahead.
You see, the school system is so, because of the, I would like to say, the increase, we have a lot of private schools now. And if your child fails, like Comrade said, the only thing you need to do is to take your child to the other school, because they are looking for people. And they will just promote the child.
If that's what you want.
If that's what you want.
And you can afford it.
I met
and you can afford it, because most times it's not without an envelope.
I met a student in the university, and he had issues. And I was asking him, "Have you ever passed?" He said, "No, he has never passed." But he passed last in primary 3. And I said, "Then what happened?" He said, "They've been pushing me. Then he got to the university. He got stopped. And
nobody to push him?
Yes, because maybe he didn't see people to sort her, you know, like his mates. So he got stopped. And I say, "You see what you've done to yourself. You have to go back and see if you can take one."
Look at this one. Very young children looking into books. And that's what it's supposed to be, so that they cultivate the culture of reading early in life.
So
like Comrade said too. You see, we are the models, like we parents, teachers are no longer reading. Teachers are just redundant, because many of them go into teaching without passion.
Or teacher for
few teacher, many people take the teaching appointment as just a temporary
aware
thing.
of making economic
yes, to just hang on.
Value.
If I get any other thing, if you come into the teaching system now, you will discover that there is no passion. The passion is gone. If a teacher is not passionate, how can he teach his students to be passionate? And that's the problem.
And that boils down to the problem of unemployment. You look for a job over the years, you don't get a job, and the next thing you want to do, in a private school. You know?
Nobody's true. No, before I say, sorry, or you know, yes. let's look at our society. For instance, I have a friend that I was actually chatting up with. You know, she said that she was trying to.
Chatting up.
She was trying to. She was trying to, you know, go. Na ni nara emeko onye nọ na school. Ni ada afugi ka ị na-ekwu akwụkwọ. The woman bụ a teacher na school. Ọ bụ head teacher na one school. So ọ sị na nwa ya wee sị ya, "Mommy, n'ike agwụghị ya. Nke ọ ga-aba agụcha ndị mee something na agafeli ya." You know, the girl was demoralized,
of course.
Kind of, you know. Where do we bring the society we find ourselves in?
You see,
into
in actual fact, in school curriculum, and most schools do have career counselors.
Okay, sorry, let's see who is on the line before we continue.
All right, go ahead.
So now, it boils down to the system. We have a faulty educational system in this country. A situation where the certain issue comes to play, you know.
We now have, because I know it's not the.
It wasn't there. Who are you going to sort? The teachers, they were not looking to buy the vote.
Who led the faulty foundation?
Oh, the government. You know what I mean? The government.
Important to what I was
asking
before.
Yeah, the
government in this.
Because when the primary, the elementary, you keep watering down the standard of education in this country. I go standard. I make that I go elementary. So I should know elementary. So you see that now.
Basic. Let's go from primary to basic.
So you find out that government policy on education is watering down the quality and qualitative education in this country.
Hello? Okay.
So, Obono government, because if you go to some of the mission schools, when we had the mission schools, there are certain things you don't do in mission school, okay? And in government school, so to say, there are things you don't do. So what I'm trying to say is that government policy on education should be looked into.
Should be looked into.
Yes.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Fine.
We are good. And nice again.
Let's go on.
Let's continue. We feel pointed out, Mrs. Nnaemeka. Its name was in so many private schools. I just any policy in government schools. It doesn't trickle down to the private schools because private is private.
Yes. Oh, the government should check. There should be a board checking this private school. It shouldn't be anyhow. Anything goes. I keep telling them, how can you be running a school? There are basic standards for you to operate a school, but you don't get it. And you see the person running the school for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years.
Now one small batcha more full almost warehouses. There
was a day I went to a school, and the little child of 3 years was, in fact, the condition of teaching in that school need to be reviewed. And I called the head teacher and I said, how can you allow a child of 3 years, to lie down like this? Was not sleeping time. If the sitting position very bad, and the child will come back home complaining of backache.
And before you know it, it's a hunchback.
In fact, the government needs to really check those private schools, that they won't watering it down more. Because a student will be asked to repeat, and it comes to the principal that is a bit strict, the principal will say, no, your child must repeat. The next thing, we choose the child from that school. He no longer go another school.
Hello?
It's wrong.
Let us not blame the government so much. The government has a role to play. But I brought it up actually. But look at the point I'm making here. Why don't you go back to what it used to be? Mgbe anyị na-aga akwụkwọ ihe anyị na-eme bụ anyị na-acha akwụkwọ mama anyị papa anyị were akwụkwọ anyị si anyị ngwa ka ewu ngwa
Kenke onogo
standard
a na-ajụ gị elementary primary basics
ma elementary ọkụkọ akpọzie so ohe niile ba parents ndị bife onye ahụ adịghị n'akwụkwọ mara nke o deta ma nke ọ na-edeta
maka parents ma na ife ede
why can't you go back to that standard?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Wenite n'onu ọ bụ na nwatakịrị ka anyị n'onu gị n'onu maka anyị na-akpa maka unu mgbe anyị ga-akpa maka nke okenye bụ na akpọba na
what actually what we are saying is this. Parents, but you heard Mrs. Nnaemeka say now that parents are more career-minded. On a check, I just took the room as gay. Where up was there? Oh no, not just already lazy. A situation where mothers and fathers, and we are fortunate now. The present day mothers and fathers went to school. So they don't know even what to ask us now. Yes, so a situation came up where somebody came to Unozo, where now solo Unozo, but she actually John, you see. So, and he believed that the child is sent to school must actually learn something. So, in those days, if people who actually did not see phone, they did not see smartphone, but they were voraciously reading.
Oh, okay. Now there's that report that the U.S. conducted. Actually,
hello.
Good morning. Hello. Anya da no kwifi na ekwu keda fa ebe kisakpo.
Ba ku keda fa ke.
Ngwatinye phone no ka na no fi na ekwu.
Okay, o nwere ihe ha si nyelo aka.
Hello.
Onwe has seen aka for children. There's no introduction of La report. I think you've mentioned that here sometime. Now, onwe school where I move from Eba Bikwajibo, so I onwe hen chopta. Nabia every weekend. Onwe novels ane umuaka hawe na. So I get chopta na the tin mum hana like to read. You got to go so. Okay,
like
they want to.
Like for instance, I have an NGO that is an international NGO we call Bridge of Faith. The white people, they come by annually to visit me here in Oka. And 7-8 years ago, we appealed to Edison High School in New Jersey. And the Edison High School in New Jersey gave us a whole library, emptied their library. So I brought 40 books to this country. And I found out that in a higher school, their library contains books that our university students will benefit from. So what did I do? I was actually sharing these books. I went up to Miata. For the first time, we flew on a flying boat and went to Miata to give them these books in their library. All the schools in Oka, I gave them these books for them to actually. I stopped their library. When Kennedy's library was being done, I had some left, which I asked them to come and take. Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that problem we have in the school is that now, because the library the library system in this country. Because if I bring one, like if I knew I would have brought the book, you find that the books, and you saw how many people that read it at a time. They are still on the jacket.
Yes, because each time
yes,
you read,
yes, those who borrowed it.
Mm.
So, and that shows you that the white people, even with the technology around them, are still reading.
Okay.
Why are we different?
Hello.
And madam, don't you think that with the advancement of technology, it should have enhanced the reading culture of our children?
Like,
what's happening?
What's happening is their interest. You see, I tell people what they hear, what they listen to, what they see is music, fashion. So their interest is shifting. So when you ask them to read, they will tell you, this singer, did he read and is successful? That's because, I go to schools.
So what do we do? By way of preferring solutions?
They started did something. We have what we call critical reading text. And we've even sold the idea to the government that every day, a book, every week, and every student must read a book. That's what we are doing
every week.
Every week.
So a student must read a book. Okay, it's a good policy. We could run a national campaign on that. And then.
Is that what your NGO is all about?
Yeah, it's all about, it's student advocacy against destructive habits. We are looking for what to do to bring them out because their interest has changed. They're no longer interested in education. They're more interested in cultism. They're more interested in watching pornography on the internet. They're more interested in something, drug. That is what is taking down the youths of these days. You can imagine in a school, I don't want to mention name.
Don't, please.
They are selling marijuana.
And Ramadan.
20 naira.
Ramadan.
In a primary school or secondary school? Secondary school.
So
who was selling? The teacher?
The students.
Students, they sell to themselves?
Yes.
And they are the watchful eyes of the principal and the teachers?
And I don't know.
I think we're in trouble in this
We're in trouble.
Your last word as well.
In fact, what she has just said is our bane in our educational system now. That you find young adults who are still in the school, indulging, doing drugs. In America, it says, I hope you're not doing drugs. They are doing drugs. And that is very, 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 very bad.
They're doing a whole lot of things.
Yes.
They do drugs, they do sex, they do everything.
And
then
adult,
their mind is off school.
A young adult is involved in doing drugs. That is why America tried to jail people who are found to be actually
involved in drugs. So thank you very much. We need to do something too, just like America and other developed worlds, to make sure that we get it right. That's the most important thing, because if we lose this generation, we are done for. Okay, gentlemen, we'd like to thank our guests for coming today. Mrs. Ifeoma Nnaemeka, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for coming.
And Comrade Kanayo Obidigbo.
You are regular.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you very much. The boys behind the cameras, the ops directors, everybody in our Good Morning Anambra team, the producer and the executive producer. God bless you all. And we are praying that God will keep us and we'll be here tomorrow. And I saw you on Wednesday.
Okay.
TFNOS is in trouble. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.